Hi, welcome to Avi's Kosher Kitchen. I'm your chef, host, and faux guide today, Chef Avi. Now, I'll explain the whole idea of faux in a minute because there's nothing fake, but there's a lot of fake going on today. First, we're going to say l'chaim. This is real, beautiful Cabernet we're going to have, and it's going to absolutely complement, and I'm going to tell you why you want to pick a good wine in a minute for what we're about to make. So let's say l'chaim, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagefen. Oh, that just whets my appetite for this fake real dish. Fake real. Well, let's look at our ingredients. First off, we have a beautiful, beautiful Delmonico steak here, courtesy of our friends at KOL Foods. Now, this is 100% grass-fed beef, free-range, organic. They have a farm in California where this is like the kosher equivalent of the wagu beef. It is absolutely in demand by restaurants all over, and they're going to bring it right to your plate. I've got the steak unwrapped, nice Delmonico here. I've dried it off. You don't want it too wet. That's our first ingredient. Our second ingredient is this beef fry, cooked beef fry, again, from KOL Foods. And I got to tell you, this is healthy. No sodium nitrates, no chemicals, none of that junk in there. And I've got some raw beef fry. Guess what that looks like? Right, corned beef. Okay, I've got a pan here. I've got my nice griddle. You'll see it is a little dirty. Why? Here's why. Because I have this nice beef fry. I cooked it already in my griddle pan because I want the fat that comes out of it, the little bit of fat, to be in the pan. It's going to add flavor to this steak. Okay, now what we're going to do is make a faux filet mignon. Okay, now we're going to take our really nice sort of wagu. We can't really say it's wagu, but it's between you and me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We're going to take it, put it here. I'm going to take a little bit of this, not really, you know what this looks like, but close to it. We're going to just take a little bit, wrap it around the side. Now to keep it on, I've got some toothpicks. Now the tendency you want to think about is to slide it right in. What are you doing? You're making a big channel in there that way to let all the juice in your steak run out. Run away, run away. You don't want that. You want to just take it and sort of do a little bit of a stitch, sort of like you were a basting stitch, I think they call it in sewing, something like that, just like you're sewing a little something on. Now I'm going to take my pan, turn it on, bring it up to a pretty high heat. You want this searing, searing hot, because it's exactly what we're going to do with this is we're going to sear it. Now before we sear it, we want to season it, okay? Got some nice kosher salt here. I've got a little bit of fresh ground pepper. You don't like the pepper, don't use it. I've got a little bit of canola oil in here. You want to put a little bit of oil because you don't want things to, you don't want the meat to stick. And you want to use a good high temperature oil like canola oil, which stays and doesn't burn at a high temp. And we've got our steak, and we now listen to this, wait for the sizzle, here it comes. We're going to just take this, lay it on. There we go. I'm going to take this right from the stovetop here. Good. And I'm going to put it right into the oven. 350-degree oven. Let's go. Turn off our burner. And now we're going to wait. There we go. Feast your eyes on this. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to take a nice plate. I'm going to take my steak right off, put it on my plate. I don't want it to stay in the heat any longer than it has to. We have these drippings. You may want to pour it on top. I got something better for you. I've made a compound margarine. Usually it's a compound butter, but again, meat, milk, we're using a margarine. Really, really good organic, beautifully tasting margarine. And I've just put in a little bit of basil, a little garlic, a little salt, just kicked it up with some nice fresh herbs, and that goes right on top of our steak. And while it's hot, it just melts right over it and gives us a nice flavor. While that's happening, our toothpicks come out. Now you want to make sure you have a really nice glass of red wine with this, my opinion. I like a Cabernet because it's a piece of meat. Cabernet is really good. The wine complements the meat complements the wine, and together you've got a combination that just makes you go, hey, this is so good, the kids are going to bed early tonight, trust me. Okay, so now I want to show you, look at the inside of this steak. See if you can get a shot of that. Look at that. Really nice, medium rare, just beautiful. Look at red, juicy. We've let it rest a little bit. It just really is a wonderful piece. This, by the way, goes great with some crispy onion rings or a little bit of fresh greens, something like that. And by the way, if you let this sit, cool down, slice it nice and thin on top of a salad, wow, really good, particularly with a nice little vinaigrette on top of the greens. And I want to thank our friends at KOL Foods for providing this absolutely wonderful sort of faux wagu beef. It's really more wagu than wagu in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. You got to try it for yourself. Get a hold of them. By the way, you're on Facebook. Like my page, like the KOL Foods page, and as much as we like you. So I'm going to say l'chaim with bracha to everybody, and until next time, I'm Avi. L'chaim.